Brandon Benefield, Gerard Bonner, and Diana Michelle.
What's going on, everybody? It's that time of the week. It's Friday. You know what that means. It's time for your favorite podcast, SHW. This is our wrestling, and we are on the cusp of another huge show, SHW73, coming up next Friday. Momentarily, we will be digging into the card, giving you a little preview. But before that, I'm B-Double Brandon Benefield. That's GB, Gerard Bonner, and the lovely Diana Michelle. We are V3, and we're back on your computer screens or your cell phone screens or your TV screens, however you might be watching us. But guys, it's been a minute. GB, we haven't talked to you really since you got back from Mania week. But how's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling?
GB, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm still kind of recovering because East Coast, West Coast, the time change, the busyness of it, which I don't think people understand. Well, firstly, let me say to be able to go is a massive privilege. To be able to go and work is an even greater privilege. And what I don't think most people understand is when you're going and you're working, it is not a cakewalk. So you're very busy. You're always running. You're always doing things. Plus, you're trying to catch shows. So very quick, funny story. The last show I went to started at like midnight. It was like 12:30 a.m. when it started. By the time it ended, which was like 4 a.m., I'm literally leaving the venue to go get my stuff and head straight to the airport. Wow. Like it's that kind of a scenario. So, but it was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. So, but no, listen, it's well worth it. Amazing connections out there. So it was an honor. It was an absolute honor. And it's great, of course, to be back with the home team. Got to see some of our SHW friends out that way.
There's a lot of people out there. That's awesome.
Ashton Starr and several others. So it was a good time. It was a good time.
Awesome. I'm so glad. So glad it went well for you. And I know that you were killing it on your two shows. And
have you caught up on sleep yet?
No, I have not.
All right.
I have not, and I don't know when I will. So, but hey, it's all for the cause.
Sleep when you're dead. I mean,
it's the grind, baby. It's the grind. Yeah.
It's grind, but it's well worth it.
All good. Well, as I mentioned, we've got SHW73 right around the corner 1 week from today. That's May 9th, next Friday. And it's going to be coming to you live from the Action Building, as always. And let's preview this card a little bit. Not only do we have SHW73 coming up, we also have another major show coming up, albeit it's not coming up until August. However, there are wrestlers that are already chomping at the bit, already lining up, already eager to earn a spot in the 7th annual Rumble Jack. That's right. I guess you could say the road to the Rumble Jack starts next Friday because we already have 2 Rumble Jack qualifier matches coming up next Friday night. And let's talk about those matches first. We saw this guy debut at the last show. It was a bit of a brief debut as he was one half of the tag team that took on the Infantry. I'm talking about Byron Young. He will be returning, and he'll be going one-on-one with Hollywood Hunter James, the former Jake the Snake Legacy Champion, in a Rumble Jack qualifier match. In addition to that, the other qualifier match is Joey Hyder going up against the Kenway. So let's talk about these 2 matches and basically just what it means. Anybody that's new that might not really understand all about the Rumble Jack and what it's about and what these qualifier matches mean to everybody, maybe kind of give them an idea, because we know the followers, the faithful, they know all about the Rumble Jack. They know what it's about, and they know how exciting and how big of a show it is. But your thoughts on the matches, and then, GB, I know you can kind of delve in a little bit, give us a little taste of what the Rumble Jack's all about. Diana, what do you think about these 2 matchups coming up?
Well, unfortunately, we did not get to see a whole lot of what Byron Young had to bring because it was
brief.
That's a good, thank you, because I was searching. But for the opportunity to face a former Jake the Snake Legacy title holder in his, I guess, singles debut for this opportunity That's a big deal. So I'm hoping he at least gets to, show out just a little bit. But he is facing Hunter James, and Hollywood has been entering a lot of buildings lately and killing it. So I don't know. I don't know. Think about this. I feel like Hunter's going to come away with that. He's definitely not going to miss the Rumble Jack at all. Do you want to go on to the next one? Because I can say a little bit about that.
Yeah, we talk about Hyder and Kenway, and then we'll go to
Hyder.
GB.
I'm excited to see again. He always had a good showing when he came by. I'm excited to see again. I will be highly disappointed if Kenway does not make it past Hyder to go to the Rumble Jack.
Okay.
Just because of the company he keeps.
Okay.
Him being the infinity stone of the hierarchy.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Alluding to there.
I'm sorry. Yes. I should have just said that, but I was just assuming everybody knew.
They know.
Well, here's one of the great things I'm learning is we always get new listeners and new followers to what we're doing. So I appreciate that.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk a little bit about why these qualifier matches are important. Of course, the Rumble Jack, which comes your way in August, is kind of an opportunity for one person to punch their ticket to now a title match of their choosing. Yes. So they can choose a title opportunity for the SHW tag team titles, for the Jake the Snake Legacy Championship, or for the SHW Championship. And the Rumble Jack is one of those places where not only is it big for the winner, but we've seen a lot of people debut or work hard to get into the Rumble Jack who have gone to some really big places. I mean, for those who don't know, 2020, the Rumble Jack, where, it was kind of our first show back and we saw really kind of hell freeze over that day, was also the day where someone kind of campaigned his way to get into the Rumble Jack and became one of the biggest names in all of Georgia wrestling, right? We've seen people kind of just show up randomly and end up in the Rumble Jack and have a tremendous trajectory with their career. We saw that happen with Carly Bravo. We've seen that happen with one Ben Buchanan, who is now in NXT. So there's a lot of opportunities that happen coming from the Rumble Jack. So this takes me to, the match with Byron Young and Hollywood Hunter James. Of course, again, the brief stint that Byron Young had did not give many people an opportunity to see what he can do. Now, and plus, in fairness, he just kind of answered an opportunity. He's not normally a tag team wrestler. He is normally a singles wrestler. So to get that opportunity against Hollywood Hunter James, here's where, we talk about this a lot. Sometimes when you're dealing with newcomers and they're facing established stars in our company, people tend to, and even the wrestlers tend to overlook their opponent. Yeah. And at any point in time, something you can slip on a banana peel, as one would think. And I'm going to say this, and I'm just going to look ahead because I don't want anybody to beat me up on this. But if you remember last year, in terms of qualifying for the Rumble Jack, there was a newcomer that came and beat a general, so to speak. Sauronaro ended up losing his qualifying match for the Rumble Jack to the youngest of the Buchanan clan. And, that actually kind of helped to send a certain spiral for Sal, which I won't spend a lot of time on. But the point is, it's not a guarantee that some of your established stars will make it. So Hollywood Hunter James will definitely want to keep his eye focused on the prize so that he does not look past Byron Young. If he does, he could miss a massive opportunity to be inside the Rumble Jack. I do think it's much more of a toss-up, dare I say, with Joey Hyder and the Kenway. Kenway, I think Kenway's got some challenges to deal with. I don't know. I just know this. I would not want to ever stand across from a disappointed Joe Black or Murder One, because when they're happy, they're dangerous.
Right.
When they're upset and disappointed, it's a problem. Yes. So I feel like the pressure in this match is actually on Kenway. Like, you have to win this match. If you don't, I don't know what happens with your future in the hierarchy. Meanwhile, Joey Hyder is one of those guys who we saw, and when we saw him, we were like, this guy needs to be back here and needs to be back here regularly. So if there was
Right.
ever a time for Joey Hyder to land a match of this magnitude, it's now. I think the Kenway could be kind of in the most compromised space he's been in a long time. So perhaps Joey Hyder has picked the right day at the right time next week and could find his way inside the Rumble Jack. And as we've seen, the winner of the Rumble Jack can now punch their ticket to any championship opportunity. We saw Carly Bravo do that, and he's reaping the benefits of that even now.
That's right.
Absolutely. Last month we had a massive 7-man gauntlet match to name the number one contender for the Jake the Snake Legacy Championship. We would see that Alexander Lev would go on to win that match. He will have his chance at Kyle Matthews coming up next week. We will get to that match here in just a few minutes. But what I wanted to touch on was a couple of other guys that were in that matchup. You talked about Hold My Beer Hansen making such a big impact when he came in 2020 and kind of campaigned his way into the Rumble Jack. Well, there's another guy that's come along over the last several months that kind of has that same buzz about him, that same fanfare as far as the fans in SHW really taking to the guy. And I'm talking about AA Run, Aaron Dallas. Sorry, Sally hates it when I do that. But the fans chant it. They bring the signs. They come out in full force. You talk about the downward spiral of Sal Renaro. That was another guy that beat Sal, which is why Sal gets so upset with me when I bring it up. But that's neither here nor there. Anyways, during this gauntlet match, you saw Rosario Grillo come out. He didn't last very long in the match, but it was after he was eliminated where he came back and he just screwed over. I'll just put it that way. He screwed over Aaron Dallas by interfering and therefore getting Aaron Dallas eliminated from the gauntlet match as well. So we're going to see a one-on-one matchup between those two men, Aaron Dallas and Rosario Grillo, next Friday at SHW73. I'm very excited for this one because I'm excited to see Grillo in a one-on-one matchup. You know, we saw him in tag team action previously when we had the benefit show. He had a brief matchup where he had a confrontation with Buff Bagwell and then a very brief matchup with Sunny Days back in whenever that was, maybe October of last year. But this will be a one-on-one matchup with Aaron Dallas. I'm excited. Grillo's kind of repackaged himself. We saw a great video that was put out a couple months ago, kind of telling the backstory of Grillo and his, since the time he started training until now and where he's at in the business and all the things he's done. So I'm kind of excited to see him, outside of the tag team world and getting into the singles division here in SHW. But he's going to have his work cut out for him because, like I said, Aaron Dallas is kind of on a hot streak. Even though he didn't win the gauntlet match, he's still pretty hot in SHW. So how are we feeling about this one-on-one matchup?
I'm excited about Rosario Grillo, actually, because like you said, we have seen him a lot in tag team matches and in other spaces as well. But I don't feel like I've actually gotten to see him really dig in and have a good match, because it's always some kind of crazy stipulation or some kind of a reason that he's thrown into this crazy match. But I think this one will be a good opportunity for that, just to see him really shine. On the other hand, to hear that Diesel, rev is pretty much the same thing as hearing that pop top when Hold My Beer Hansen comes out. So AA Ron has got it going on when it comes to the crowd being all over him, and he is definitely the crowd favorite. And if you can get past everybody chanting against you, well, oh my God, that's gonna be probably the biggest feat for Rosario, I think, because he got a lot of hate for all his actions last month, and that was well deserved. But still, come on,
he had a lot to say.
He did. He had a lot. He
did.
Was it a big cannoli? Is that what it is?
He's the big cannoli.
Like big
Calabria's
cannoli.
favorite son. Yeah, he's Rosario Grillo. Yeah.
I think it's going to be an interesting time for Rosario Grillo and for Aaron Dallas. Aaron Dallas, we talked about the Rumble Jack and how sometimes, obviously the goal is to win, but sometimes you can make such a strong impression in there that you really, really capture the attention of everyone, fans and officials alike. Right. And I think Aaron Dallas was arguably the MVP of the gauntlet match. He won and defeated pretty much the most opponents. And had it not been for the attack by Rosario Grillo on Aaron Dallas, we could be talking about Aaron Dallas getting that title shot next week. So for Aaron Dallas, there's a bit of revenge on his mind because Rosario Grillo has now cost Dallas a championship opportunity. And we know how rare they are here in Southern Honor. So there's definitely a bit of a personal animosity there. Meanwhile, for Rosario Grillo, it's an opportunity to prove yourself, to prove to the people why you made all the noise you made, why you got into the gauntlet match in the first place, and why you ultimately changed the path of the gauntlet match. So I think Rosario Grillo has an amazing opportunity ahead of him. Aaron Dallas is not invincible. Rosario Grillo can spend the time, because with Grillo not being as attached to the crowd, I think sometimes Aaron Dallas loves the crowd so much that he might take his focus off of actually winning the match versus trying to make the crowd happy. And remember, you only have to be 3 seconds better than your opponent. And that's all Rosario Grillo needs. 3 good seconds puts this man on a championship trajectory here in Southern Honor. So I'm excited for this one because this could be the coming out party for Rosario Grillo.
Absolutely. And on the note of talking about that gauntlet match, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, the winner would go on to be Alexander Lev, and he gets his shot at Kyle Matthews next Friday. This one has a lot of people talking. This one is exciting. I mean, everybody's pumped about this. What's interesting to me, though, is over the last several months, we're still, as far as the three of us and probably the fans too, not quite sure what the deal is with Grayson Pierce when it comes to Alexander Lev. Does Lev even care anything about Pierce at this point? Pierce keeps trying to impress Lev and be at ringside for Lev's matches. He sometimes gets involved and seems to inadvertently mess things up from time to time during Lev's matches. Well, according to the poster that was released when the match was announced, it says Alexander Lev, and then in small print, with Grayson Pierce. So I don't know if that's something that Lev requested to have Pierce join him at ringside, or if that's Pierce just kind of working his way in to try to impress Lev still. I'm still not quite sure what the deal is there. But Kyle Matthews, as we know, one of the best in the business, has been for a very long time. But he's not usually seconded to the ring by anybody. And so he'll have to watch that numbers game, keep his head on a swivel, if you will. And will Pierce come into play at some point in this matchup, one way or the other? So we'll find out next Friday. But how are we feeling about this Jake the Snake Legacy Championship matchup?
Well, Kyle's been in it for a long time, and he has been consistently on fire the whole time I've known him. He's dealt with the outside interferences and the accompaniments to the ring by his opponent. And I mean, he's still doing his thing.
Do we know how old Lev is? Early 20s?
How old Lev is? He's early
20s.
Yeah, he was probably in diapers when Kyle
I was going to say, he might be as old as Kyle has been wrestling, because Kyle's, what, 22 years about this point?
Something like that, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Because I remember, I feel like it was a year or two ago when we were celebrating his 20th year. Yeah,
right?
So I feel like he might have been wrestling as long as Lev's been alive. So anyway.
Wow.
He doesn't look it. He looks great for his age.
Consistent.
Yeah.
And been amazing. Yeah. I mean, he is always going to be a top star, period. Lev, though, we talk about it every time we get on here and talk about Lev. His growth and the way he's developed and evolved from being the doormat to get into the Rumblejack to being, a contender against this Joe Black for the Southern. I cannot talk tonight. Southern Honor title. I can't get the words out. So now, giving him the fight of his life, and then now have an opportunity for the Jake Snake Legacy title with Kyle Matthews. And I mean, veterans galore, and he's holding his own. I hope Grayson doesn't interfere, because I mean, just give me a good match without the crap. But
yeah,
I don't know why he'd be there. I kind of feel like Lev is neither here nor there whether he's there or not, whether Grayson's there or not. But maybe Grayson's just really, he hung out during the ending part of the gauntlet match after he'd been already eliminated. He hung out, trying to cheer on Lev and I guess be his support. But he didn't pay any attention. So I don't know. Maybe he's just tagging along like a little pup. I don't know.
I have so many thoughts on this match. I'll do my best to keep it brief. I really do. I am super excited about the concept of this match. Mm-hmm. Kyle Matthews, Alexander Lev. It is the rock versus the hard place. It's Alexander Lev is really the picture of momentum. Already, I know it's too early to hand out awards and things like that, but you talk about momentum builder. He being Lev, has been on fire all year, even though he doesn't always have wins. It's incredible to see the groundswell of support that has shown up for him. His title match is still being talked about with Joe Black, and Joe Black even saluted him at our last show after Lev won the gauntlet match, which is incredible to see. So Lev getting a second title match in 3 to 4 months is mind-blowing in and of itself. But it speaks to where Alexander Lev is. He's had marquee matches at the top of the card all year long. And here's the kicker. He did it all without Grayson Pierce. That's important because Lev has been singularly focused. Perhaps Lev realized that once he could no longer be faithful, that he didn't have to depend on these people having his back, that he had enough to get it done himself. He was able to become the number one contender by himself. He took Joe Black to the limit by himself. And ultimately, he won this gauntlet match, for the most part, by himself. So for Alexander Lev, this is another moment where he's able to say, I've got this. I can do this. I don't need any help. Then you've got Kyle Matthews, who's always been hovering around the title picture. And, it looked like most of last year, matter of fact, we remember the Rumble Jack last year, where it looked like he'd actually won the Jake the Snake Legacy Championship. He had the title, went into the Rumble Jack, and suddenly was mysteriously stripped of the title. And now, of course, we got to still here, and he regained the championship, official champion, and he has been on fire ever since. So you get two guys who are super hot, lots of momentum, battling for the Jake the Snake Legacy Championship. It's major. I do think, to your point, that the wild card here is Grayson Pierce. Now I'm going to break out a little history for our Southern Honor fans who might remember this. This Grayson Pierce, Alexander Lev thing is reminding me of Movie Mike and Ashton Starr, where Ashton Starr was being Ashton Starr, and Movie Mike continued to try to get Ashton's attention. All the while, Ashton wasn't paying him the kind of attention he wanted, and Movie Mike snapped. And I'm wondering, is Grayson Pierce really allured and really interested in affirming and supporting Alexander Lev, or is this going to have some weird stalker tendency? And when Pierce doesn't get what he wants, because he's not been getting what he wants, he snaps. I don't know. But that's why we watch the matches, and that's why we show up. I don't know what's going through Pierce's head, but Pierce has had a weird view of this whole thing. He attacked a whole bunch of people just to prove himself to Lev. He's been doing all these things to prove himself to Lev, and Lev's not paying him any attention. I don't know how this is going to bode for Lev or for Pierce, but this is going to make for a very interesting SHW73.
That is very interesting. Be awful if he costed Lev the title.
Mm-hmm. It would be terrible.
It'd be terrible.
Be terrible.
Because the thing is, as Diana said, if we just get a clean one-on-one match, it's bound to be an instant classic.
Instant classic.
So I'm excited. I hope we could get that without any kind of shenanigans on the outside. But you never know. Only one way to find out is to find it.
I'll tell you something. A dear friend told me this: if you'll shenan once, you're shenan. There you go.
I like that.
I like that.
I hadn't heard that. That's good. That's good. But one way to find out is join us next Friday. That's May 9th, 261 Marietta Road, Canton, Georgia, live at the Action Building. Let's see. Tickets go on sale at the door, 5 o'clock. Doors open at 7, bell time at 8. As always, kids 10 and under are free. But let's move on down to card because we're not done yet. 3 more big matches. One with a lot of personal animosity, a lot of anger built into it. If you'll recall, a few months ago, the Skulk coming into Southern Honor Wrestling, actually physically stealing the Infantry's tag team title belts. And Sean Dean and Carly Bravo have been livid ever since, and they've yet to be able to get their hands back on their title belts. The Skulk was able to escape last show again with the belts. This time, we're going to see one-on-one Carly Bravo going up against Adrian Alanis. And, Bad News and Tattoos, he's had a lot to say. We know he's not happy, and rightfully so. If somebody's going to steal your property, you're going to be a little upset about it. So here's what's interesting. At the last show, Dean and Bravo did get their hands briefly on Adrian Alanis. Meanwhile, it was almost like his partner, Liam Gray, kind of sacrificed Alanis to be able to get the belts back out of the building. And so Alanis took a little bit of a beat down there from the Infantry. And next Friday, we're going to see one-on-one Alanis versus Bravo. Will Gray be there? Will Sean Dean be there? Will the tag team title belts be in the building? We don't know. But I know that, Bravo is looking for his pound of flesh here. And whether or not he gets his belts back, he's at least going to get a little bit of vengeance as far as Adrian Alanis is concerned. So, Diana, I know you're always excited to see Bravo in action and potentially on the microphone, which I don't see him being in the building without getting on the microphone. So, how are we feeling about this one?
He is one of the most aggressively vocal wrestlers there is ever been. And I love it. I'm here for it. I love to see him get on the mic. Not necessarily when he's mad, because he's hot. He's been mad hot. And GB,
GB.
Bless your heart.
Firsthand.
I love to be in the ring with Carly and Sean, but that night I did not envy you a bit to have to get in there and tell them that they had to leave. I mean, that's the champions that they had to leave. But yes, they did get their hands on Adrian, and to see Carly have his way is just going to be amazing. I mean, I have beef with Adrian because he's such a punk to me, but to see Carly do his thing, it's going to be awesome. Awesome.
She's envisioning it right now. I could tell.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, wow. Here's one of the things. Talk about problematic. You mentioned Carly Bravo. Carly Bravo being in a space where he's on a mic, that's always exciting. When he's angry, he's like the Incredible Hulk. You don't like him when he's angry, right? Yeah, I mean, he becomes a different guy. The peaceful side of me says, Skulk, just hand them the titles back. Ask for a title match. Try to win the titles, and you can do that. Instead, you've made these men so angry that they beat up people that they love and care about. It's no fun. It's no fun. So I don't know that I want to be Alanis in this match. People forget, man, we reiterated before, Carly Bravo, the winner of last year's Rumble Jack, he knows how to throw down. Someone who has defeated 7 former Southern Honor champions before he got signed. Like, he's that guy. You see him on TV every week. He's all over the place. So he's a guy that you absolutely positively do not want to ruffle his feathers. You've taken his property. You still have it. I don't know why the Southern Honor officials have not found a way to get it back. But all I know is perhaps because of this match, we won't have to have the show held hostage. But Alanis, be very careful because Carly Bravo is not going to play nice.
No,
Thanks.
Not in the least. Yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do to get his hands back on those title belts. We'll find out next Friday. Another matchup that's got a lot of personal animosity involved. Oh boy, this one. Sauronaro dropped the bombshell on us at the last show, announcing that Sunny Days, the monster of SHW, will be going one-on-one with Gunner. No, not Gunner Miller. The Mouth, the man who calls himself the Kingpin of Georgia Wrestling. I'm talking about Matt Griffin, or I think it's Kingpin. Is that what it is, Diana?
It's Penguin.
Oh, wait,
It's
Penguin?
Penguin. And I do believe earlier this week it was National Penguin Day, and it just brought joy to my life. Joy.
Interesting. Well, we talked about this on the recap show a couple weeks ago from the last show, because a lot of people aren't used to seeing Matt Griffin actually in the ring competing, right? They're used to him being on the outside in a managerial type role or a promoter type role from other companies. And this will be interesting, but he does have a history in the ring as a competitor. So it's been a while. Well, in the Southern Honor universe, at least, he's popped up. I think you mentioned he had a death match not too long ago in another promotion, but yeah,
a death wish for sure.
I believe, and if I can find it, maybe I'll share it. It was a picture. I can't remember who he competed against. Was it the Killbilly? Did we figure that out? I'm not sure if it was or not. It might have been on the show that the Killbilly was promoting, but I believe there was a picture where he had a plunger stuck to his head, which was awesome.
Wow.
Wow. I mean, I got a kick out of it. Yeah. But anyways, he'll be in action. Well, maybe. I don't know how much action, because I don't know how much damage Sonny's going to do to him from the get-go. Right. Now, Sauronaro has also said that Gunnar Miller will be handcuffed to the ring at ringside. And on top of that, Sauronaro himself, Sonny's former tag team partner from Happy Madness, will be donning the stripes and will be the special guest referee. Oh, this just has me giddy. I'm just so excited for this one. After all the crap that those two guys have put us through as a company, and I'm talking about Griffin and Gunnar Miller here, I cannot wait to see Sonny get his hands on Matt Griffin, and Gunner's helpless at ringside. So what are we thinking about this one? I know we're all kind of excited.
The only thing that would have probably topped Sal being the ref would have been Gary being the ref. Because
and that's a good question. Due. That's a good question. Where has Gary been? Ever since he was sitting front row a couple months back, and then he was being kind of goaded and egged on there by Matt Griffin. He ended up just leaving the building.
He didn't retaliate.
I don't know about you guys. I haven't seen him since then. I haven't heard anything about him since then. So what's going on there?
I mean, geez, let's just do this first. I want this to be the first match. I do. I want this to be the first match because it needs to set the tone.
Wow.
And what if they handcuff Gunner at ringside and then somebody loses the key and then he's just handcuffed there all night?
He's just there to sit there and watch the whole show like a good little boy. That's all you can do.
Like a good little boy.
He can have my chair and sit right there in the corner and be nice.
Wow.
That would be great. But yes, there is a whole thing with the Happy Madness thing and Sal and Sonny, and it's just gonna be. I'm excited about this one. I can't wait to see Matt get his butt beat. I can't wait. Might have to serenade him out again.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
You know, it certainly feels like Sauronaro and Jake the Snake have figured out how to dot all the I's and cross all the T's on this one to make sure that we actually get what's advertised, to make sure that Gunnar Miller doesn't get himself involved in this. So he's handcuffed to the ring. So he gets to watch from a bird's eye view. You got Sauronaro as the special guest referee. He's just been appointed to that position by Jake Roberts. So we know for sure Sal is going to be on the up and up, defending the honor of this company. You've got Matt Griffin, who is not a regular wrestler. We've seen him a couple of times pop in the Rumble Jack or, try to sub in for team action during Still Here, but not a regular competitor, and certainly doesn't have the skill set of the monster of Southern Honor. So it feels like finally Southern Honor will get some justice in this scenario. Now, what I don't know is what kind of training the Kingpin, I had to make sure I got that right. The Kingpin has been doing. I don't know what kind of training he's been. I don't know. I don't know how Gunnar Miller trains, and if he trains regularly for wrestling or if he just trains to keep his body in shape. If he's brought along, the Kingpin for it. Now, what's interesting is you'll notice that Matt Griffin doesn't bring out his formerly traditional flask. So maybe he's stopped drinking. He's wearing black, so maybe he's looking a little thinner. I don't know how he's training for all of this, but if I am Matt Griffin, I'm doing a lot of cardio before this match because I'm going to try to run and run a lot to keep and hopefully try to tire out Sunny Days. Because if you get into a power situation, it's not going to work for you. We've seen now. Admittedly, Matt can run pretty well, and he's got a pretty decent leap. We've seen him leap over a guardrail or two over his time.
Can we just say it's not like he leaped and landed on his feet, though? Every time he just
no.
spilled into somebody's lap.
Over.
Yeah,
which is always a great visual, by the way.
So I don't know where he will run or where he will hide, but I think this is a great opportunity for Sunny Days. I do hope that Sunny and Sal have made sure that no extra people find their way through the back, that no people from Action just manage to mosey on in, that this can actually be what's advertised. And if it is what is advertised, Sunny Days is going to have some fun next Friday night. And so will we.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
I can't wait to call it.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going to have a field day with that one.
Oh, yes.
And look, folks, if all those matches that we've just talked about was not enough to get you out there, we still have a Southern Honor Championship matchup on this card. And not only is it huge figuratively, but it's also huge literally because the Chief, Austin Towers, is the challenger for Joe Black's Southern Honor Championship. The 7-footer, over 300-pounder, will be in the building, finally getting this championship matchup. Another one, he had one a few years ago when he was still back when, who was against? Was it,
it was against David Ali.
David Ali, right. And so, because he won the Rumble Jack to earn that shot.
Correct.
And now he's back after being away for a few years, couple years, however long it's been. Shocked us all a few months ago when he showed up at the end of the show, attacking the hierarchy, laying out Joe Black, laying out the Kenway, clearly with his eyes set on that Southern Honor title belt. Of course, the hierarchy would kind of let him know that you don't just get to waltz in here and get a title shot. So he had to go through the Kenway and murder one before he could get to Joe Black. Well, whether you like it or not, he's done those things. And Joe Black finally accepted this challenge. And, of course, it didn't take long at all for Sal Rinauro and Jake the Snake to, of course, sign it and make it official. And it's going to be happening next Friday. Joe Black, one-on-one with Austin Towers. All of Georgia has been buzzing about this since it was announced a few weeks ago. And man, oh man, I am excited for this one. What do we think here? It's going to be good.
It's always a party when the champ is in the house. I dread the pain that he may cause, being the killer weight has been summoned.
Yeah.
That could be catastrophe for Austin Towers. I don't really know. He's feeling himself. He is. He's really feeling himself. But
I mean, we are seeing a whole new Austin Towers than was previously here. So, and I think it's the Austin Towers that Joe Black had been trying to get out of him the whole time.
Yeah.
And so now he's finally here, and Joe Black's ready to take him on, and I can't wait.
He's calling out the killer weight. It's going to be a fight. I mean, it's going to be. I think it's going to be a bad, bloody fight, but it's going to be a fight. This is not going to be, the hierarchy, Dark City, whatever. It's not going to be like that Dark City street fight type deal. It's going to be, that killer weight. I love that. I need a promo. I need another one. I need another one. I need the Rev to speak up. Speak up. But yeah, Austin is I hope he brings his A game. I hope he knows what he's calling on, because it's not going to be just a walk in the park at all. This is not at all.
Yeah, this is you could argue it's a dream match, because this version of Austin Towers is unlike any version of Austin Towers we've ever seen. This isn't the Austin Towers that won the Rumble Jack a few years ago.
Right.
And I think he's still wearing I don't know if he thinks about it often, but he's one of only two men to win the Rumble Jack and then not convert that into a championship. The other was David Ali, the man who beat him in defense of that championship. So I think Austin Towers is really trying to right a lot of what he has perceived to be wrong over the years when it's come to his time in Southern Honor. So he picked his spot. Joe Black on commentary, you guys go back and check it out if you haven't. I'm on IWTV. Joe Black talked about this on commentary, the fact that Austin Towers has really kind of figured out who he is and figured out how to, step into his size and use that for his advantage. I think the Austin Towers that was previously in Southern Honor would be a bit of a cakewalk, to be fair, for this version of Joe Black. This version of Joe Black, which happens to be the best version of Joe Black, against the best version of Austin Towers, is going to make for an incredible championship match. Austin Towers hasn't lost since he's been back, and he's defeated two members of the hierarchy. Very few people can ever say that they've done that. I think he's got the attention of Joe Black. He summoned the killer weight. Joe Black tried to put the killer weight away. The killer weight is the guy who gave us the dog collar match that we're still talking about 5 years later. The killer weight is a very dangerous man who will turn around and put you through the window of a car and the hood of a car. He will do whatever is required, and his body is cooperating with him right now. This is not what you want. So it's going to be amazing. But think about it. How does Joe Black overcome someone who has 100-pound and a 1 foot advantage, a foot in height and 100 pounds in weight? That's a major hill for the champion to overcome. This could be the night for Austin Towers, or it could be the night that we move from meeting the killer weight to meeting the giant killer. We'll find out next week.
Ooh, May 9th, next Friday, live from the Action Building. Like I said, 261 Marietta Road, Canton, Georgia. Tickets go on sale at the door starting at 5 p.m. Doors open at 7, bell time at 8. Kids 10 and under, as always, are free. Invite your friends, invite your family. What else better do you have to do on a Friday night? Come out and join us in the Action Building. It's going to be incredible. That's a stacked card we just went over.
Right?
Come on, people. What are we doing?
It will be there.
It will be there. Come on. Oh, man, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. SHW73. I can't believe we're at 73. And I also can't believe we're right around the corner in a couple of months from the 7th annual Rumble Jack. That's crazy. But it's upon us, folks. We got Rumble Jack qualifier matches next week on top of that stat card. And we can't wait to see you guys there. Before we let you go for this week, is there anything I'm forgetting? Is there anything you guys want to mention before we sign off?
Gee, I don't think.
I say go ahead and get some merch for our podcast at prowrestlingtees.com/SHW pod. If you love the podcast, we've got 2 great shirts that you can check us out with. Diana's got merch on there, so check her out. I've got merch on there. Check me out. And make sure you are also subscribed to IWTV, where you can check out the entire catalog of all things Southern Honor. And if you're brand new, go to IWTV and use the promo code SHW and get your first 5 days for free. You'll need all 5 of them if you're going to try to get through all of the content consecutively. But trust me, watching one show, it'll be far worth what the payment is on a monthly basis.
Maybe
so check
watch
it out
on one TV and then turn it on your computer on another and just try to figure out what's going on. Like halfway through this.
Now that's binging. That's like next
it
level binging right there.
It is.
Done it.
I tell you what, folks.
Guilty.
I'm excited. I know these two are excited. Fans, I know y'all are excited too. Because we're doing it the second Friday instead of the first Friday. So we're having to wait an extra week to get to see all of you guys. And so, as it is every month, it's like a reunion. It's like a big party. We get to see all of our familiar faces. Bring some new faces. Bring some
Bring your
new.
mom. It's
Yeah.
Mother's Day weekend. Bring your mom. It's a
What
great gift.
Oh, it
better
is
way?
Mother's Day weekend. Wow.
What better way to celebrate Mother's Day than to bring her to some Southern Honor Wrestling?
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Don't forget, we will be live with the pre-show from 7 to 7:30 right back here on the socials, and we can't wait to see you. But until then, this has been
SHW.
This is our wrestling.